What? What? What?
Ladies and gentlemen, that's one of the biggest memes out there on the internet when it comes to the NBA. But do you know why Russell Westbrook said what? Well, if you're not sure, here's what the reporter asked him.
Russ, did you guys lose this game or did the Jazz win this one?
What?
Did you guys lose this game or did the Jazz win this one? What in the world was that question? To be fair to that reporter though, in this world we all say the dangdest things sometimes. It's inevitable, and it's part of what it means to be human, I guess. But sometimes those dangdest things we say are so ridiculous, so delusional, that it becomes a part of history, or in today's case, NBA history. So, without further ado, let's zoom in and examine some of the most delusional stuff NBA players have said, and just take in a bit of this craziness. From 2015 to 2018, for a period of 4 straight years, because of LeBron James, the Cavaliers owned the East. In fact, LeBron was actually so important to the success of the team during that period that one could even say that LeBron James was the Cavaliers. Well, after he left in the summer of 18, Tristan Thompson, a member of the Cavs at the time, reminded reporters that despite LeBron leaving, that the Cavaliers remained the team to beat in the East, and that the East still runs through Cleveland. Well, shortly after giving that motivational speech, the 2019 season got underway, and the Cavaliers started that year with an incredible record of 1 win and 11 losses. They ended up winning just 19 games that whole season and were at the bottom of the Eastern Conference. Clearly, Tristan Thompson was delusional. The East wasn't running through Cleveland anymore. The East was running over them. If you thought that take was bad though, wait until you see what this Cavaliers player said prior to LeBron scoring his first NBA bucket. You see, back in 2003, before LeBron James ever played a single NBA minute, the Cavaliers were horrible. In fact, they only won 17 games that season, which was even worse than the Tristan Thompson-led Cavaliers. But anyway, one of the Cavaliers at the time, Darius Miles, had this to say of young LeBron.
I don't think you can really just bring a high school player in and really just think your team gonna really turn around like that. If he come, you just hop on our bandwagon and hope we can do something big.
Okay, so that was a lot to take in. First off, what did he mean by hop on our bandwagon? They were a 17-win team. Second of all, the season afterwards in 2004, when LeBron James started playing for the Cavaliers, the team literally turned things around as they more than doubled their wins from 17 wins to 35 wins. Looking back at it, Darius was crazy for saying what he said, but at least he wasn't as crazy as this next guy. You see, in that very same year in 2004, the Minnesota Timberwolves made the Western Conference Finals thanks to Kevin Garnett, Sam Cassell, and Latrell Sprewell. Then, in the off-season of that year, Sprewell, who played well that season, was up for a contract extension. The Timberwolves wanted another crack at the title, and they offered him a $21 million 3-year contract. Remember, this was back in 2004, so adjusting for inflation, that $21 million would equal to about $34 million in today's economy. Well, Sprewell rejected that contract, stating that, "I've got my family to feed." Yeah. Imagine rejecting millions of dollars a year, stating that it's not enough to feed your family. The end of the story gets even worse because Sprewell never got another contract offer after that. He played out his remaining 1 year on his current contract, and that was the end of his NBA career. Anyway, this next delusional take by Monte Ellis is something you're going to have to hear for yourself.
I would put myself in the same category as D. Wade. I mean, at the end of the day, the only thing that he have that I don't have is, more wins and 2 championships.
The only thing he have that I don't have is more wins and 2 championships. Yikes, guys. That was pretty bad, but this next one here is equally as bad. You see, recently, in a podcast in 2023, Damian Lillard went on air to say,
"They better pray that I don't win the championship for the Blazers."
So, listen, I love Dame time and all. He's one of the best point guards the NBA has seen over the last decade. But come on, no one has to pray that Lillard doesn't win a championship for the Blazers. I mean, for the past 4 years, they either didn't make the playoffs or were knocked out in the first round. Even them making it to the second round at this point would be a huge overachievement, so they better pray that I don't win a championship? Anyway, moving on here, do y'all remember Sasha Vujacic? Honestly, I've really only known him for 2 incidents. Number 1, when Kobe was teaching him how to be tough, and number 2, for hitting 2 clutch free throws in a Game 7 of the 2010 NBA Finals. Anyway, once upon a time in 2011, after a 25-point game by Sasha, which resulted in a win, he proudly said, "I know I can score 20 or 30 points anytime I want." Well, here's the truth. Throughout his career, which spanned 10 years in the NBA, he scored 30 or more points a total of 0 times. In fact, throughout 581 games, he's only scored 20 or more points 9 times. Then, to make matters even worse, he scored a total of 0 points 137 times. So, not that he's a bad player or anything, but for him to come out and say he can score 20 or 30 points anytime he wants is just as bad as this next take by Ben Simmons. You see, one time in 2020, Ben Simmons said, "With threes, it's never been like that. I've got to make it a point of emphasis. I could be one of those guys shooting 30% right now, but I'd rather be one of those guys shooting 40%. Well, what's funny about this is, throughout 317 regular season games, he's only attempted 36 three-point shots. Then, to make things even worse, he's only ever made 5 of them. So, forget 40%, forget 30%. Heck, forget even 20%. His career three-point shooting percentage is at 13.9%. Ben Simmons literally makes Draymond Green look like Steph Curry. So for him to just come out and say what he said was completely delusional. And just as equally delusional is what Karl Anthony Towns said in 2023.
I feel like there's going to be people who are going to say, that I changed the game.
So, Cat's a good player and all, but you can't be a quote-unquote game changer when your greatest accomplishment is winning a play-in tournament. I mean, I could go on and on about how delusional that take was, but I think this Reddit comment sums it up perfectly. It's really one of the crazier things I've heard. I understand confidence, but to me shows a complete lack of self-awareness to say something like that and not expect to be absolutely clowned. So yeah, Cat was pretty crazy for saying that, but at least he wasn't as crazy as Brittany Griner was when she said she could beat DeMarcus Cousins in a game of one-on-one.
I mean, I'm better, but and I know that kind of gets at him, but it's okay. It's okay, little man.
You know what makes this even crazier? So Brittany Griner said that about DeMarcus when he was in his prime. She said that about him when he was literally the best center in the NBA. And you know what? Even today, in 2023, after DeMarcus went through all the injuries and is only about half the player he used to be, I'd still put my money on him to win this one-on-one matchup. But hey, as bad as that take by Brittany Griner was, I don't think it tops this next one. I'm talking about the infamous Ja Morant take.
Who do you look at around the league as you're studying and say, we're going to have to run through them?
Celtics.
No one in the West.
Nah, I'm fine in the West.
You know what was absurd about this take? I mean, forget about his first-hand exit at the hands of the 7th-seeded Lakers, but Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets, Kevin Durant and the Phoenix Suns, Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors, these are 3 powerhouse teams that would have completely mopped the floor with the Grizzlies. Then on top of that, the Kings, the Clippers, and the Timberwolves. I'm not too sure Morant and the Grizzlies get past them either. I'm calling it now. That fine in the West comment is going to live on as an NBA meme for decades to come.